Hi, this is Camelia Rahman, and I'm going to demonstrate about basic DDL commands in database. A database basically analyzes and captures data, and the DDL commands that define the different structures in a database. The DDL statement basically creates, modify, and remove database objects. Now, an object may be a table, indexes, etc. So, here I'm going to demonstrate some basic DDL commands. So as you can see, I have to create a database for a furniture company. So the schema I have is this. I have to create 5 tables: customer, order line, product and suppliers with these basic attributes. And I have to solve this kind of queries, like creating a table with a primary key constraint, then creating all other tables, adding a foreign key, then modifying the table, adding, deleting, removing unique constraints, dropping the table and all. So I'm going to demonstrate all these queries with examples. The first query is create table customer with primary key constraint. Now a primary key is a unique key that is used to uniquely identify a data. In customer table, I have to create customer ID, customer name, customer address, then city, state, and the postal number. So we create the table using the create table command, and we write the attributes along with the data type. So here create table customer, then customer ID number. Since we have to make customer ID as a primary key, we can directly mention this inside the attributes as customer ID number. Here number is the data type and then primary key. It mentions that the customer ID is a primary key. So when we implement this, we can get a table which will be like this. Now to create all other tables, for example, I have to create a table called orders with order ID, order date, customer ID. So we give the attributes, then order line, product, suppliers. Similarly, we create such tables. And when we create table along using the create table commands, we get output as table created, and we can very well see how the table look like by using DSC command or describe table command. Now that was my second query to create all other table, and the third query goes like this: adding foreign key reference to customer ID attribute. Now foreign key is a key that is a primary key in other table. So since here the in customer table customer ID was a primary key, so when we have the same key in other table, it becomes a foreign key. Now how do we add such foreign key constraint? Using the command as alter table command, then alter table name, then add foreign key. Here foreign key is the keyword. Customer ID references customer ID. Here the foreign key is referencing the customer table. So when we implement this, we get something like table altered, and the primary key of one table becomes the foreign key of the other table. Now modify product finish to product material. This is nothing but just renaming. So how do we do is alter table command, then table name, then rename column to the new column name. And when we alter this, we get table altered, and we can see that the column product finish has been changed to product material. The fifth query is adding an attribute price to the order line table. So how do we add an attribute when our table is already created? We do it by using alter table and the keyword add. Here we do alter table order line, where order line is my table name, and add is the keyword price number. Here price is the attribute and number is the data type. So when we implement this, we can see the table is altered and the new row called price has been introduced. Now we have some constraints. Constraints. Now check constraint is a constraint that is used to check for a value. That is, it's basically like a condition. So how do we give a check constraint or any constraint to some column? We use add constraint keyword. Now we have many constraints. Here we need check constraint, so we give check constraint keyword. So the table is modified using the alter table name, then modified order quantity number constraint check constraint, and the constraint to be checked is order quantity should be greater than 5. So when we implement alter table order line modify order quantity number constraint check constraint. Here checkcon is the name of the constraint we are giving. We can give any user name, and then check is the constraint name we have to mention, and what we have to check, the condition is giving within the parenthesis order quantity greater than 5, so it will check if the order quantity when it should be greater than 5. Now going to the next query, rename order line to order quantity. It's basically renaming a table. So the query is simple. Just rename order line to order quantity and the table will be renamed. So next time when we want to see order quantity, we have to give DESC order quantity rather than giving order line. Order line does not exist anymore. Now the second next is add supplier address column to supplier table. Now how do we add one more column? Alter table command is used for that, and in addition to the keyword add. Alter table suppliers add supplier address and then the data type. So when we implement this, here we get another new column called supplier address in which we can add our data. The next is describe all the tables. For describing the tables, we have DSC command. So when we give DSC command, DSC table name, it will describe all the attributes and the data types we have mentioned. The next is adding primary key to all the tables. We can very well do it using the alter table command, and the syntax is alter table, table name, add is a keyword and then primary key. And then we have to mention what attribute we should be the primary key. So we mention it inside the parenthesis. So when we implement alter table product add primary key product ID, here product ID will become the new primary key or the primary key of the table product. Similarly for suppliers also this ID will become the primary key. This next query goes like this: modify data type of rating to decimal. So we can change the data types. How do we do is again we use the alter table command. The alter table name modify. The modify is the keyword to modify rating decimal. So the data type of rating was number. When we change it, we simply write the attribute name and the data type in which we want to convert. So when we implement this, the rating becomes rating will take the decimal values instead of numbers. Adding not null constraint is this. It is just like adding a check constraint, only that it does not have any condition. Adding a not null constraint will make a row not null, means you have to enter a value in that row. So how we do is we use alter table command, alter table name, modify, then customer name. This is attribute which should be not null. Then data type, constraint, not null. Constraint is a keyword and not null cons is my user defined constraint name, and constraint is not null. So when we do this, the table is altered and the not null constraint is saved. Now adding unique key constraint. Unique key constraint. Same as that of not null constraint, we have alter table command to do this. Alter table orders is my table name, modify the keyword order ID. This is where we have to make it unique. So unique constraint is more or less similar to primary key. So order ID, number, constraint, unicorns. This is my constraint name, user defined and unique. So this will make my order ID as unique. Now removing a unique key constraint. To remove any key constraints, we just use drop constraint command. Now here we don't give the constraint unique. We give our user defined constraint name, which is unicorns. In this case, I have created unicorns as a constraint name, unicorns. And when we want to drop it, just simply write alter table drop constraint, the name of the constraint. The next is drop supplier address in supplier table. That is to drop a column from the table. You can very well do that using the same alter table along with the drop column command. So we have to use alter table suppliers drop column supplier address. Here supplier is my table name and supplier address is the attribute we want to drop. Now to drop all the tables, we have simply drop table then table name. It will drop all the values from the table. And to truncate all the tables, truncate will delete all the tables from the database. So truncating table has simple truncate table command, truncate table and table name. And when we implement this, we get something like this. Truncate table product. Here the tabular view does not exist because we have already dropped the table and there are no data in the table. So these were some very basic BDL commands. Thank you.